Welcome everybody, the playoffs start here, and welcome to our live coverage of this championship playoff semi-final first leg. We know that Leeds and Burnley have been promoted. 4 more teams hope to take the last Premier League place on offer. Tonight we're at Ashton Gate as these Bristol City players prepare to take on Sheffield United. Bristol City finished 6th in the regular season. The last playoff place, of course, they were 22 points behind Chris Wilder's Sheffield United in the final reckoning. So the home side are not favourites to go through to the final, but these playoffs are so often a law unto themselves. It is Bristol City's first playoff in 17 years. At this level, they're first in 21. They've never won a playoff campaign, and nor for that matter have Sheffield United. And for the record, Sheffield United won here 2-1 in the regular season back in November. The return game at Bramall Lane was a 1-1 draw. Well, I'm delighted to have Lee Hendry alongside me for this one. Lee, this is where the season gets really interesting, isn't it? It's such a long campaign, and now it's all down to who can hold their nerve and who can roll up their sleeves and do it all again in these playoffs.
Yeah, it always is, isn't it? We get to this stage of the season where it's who's got the most nerve, who's got the most steel. And I mean, they're great situations if you're not involved in the football club, because you know they can be sickening. You've got a 2-game playoff that resorts to the final, and then that massive game at Wembley, which obviously can end in tears but can also end in such good spirit of going into the Premier League. So there's a lot at stake, and these games can throw absolutely anything at you.
And the atmosphere at Ashton Gate is outstanding. The team, the strengths of this Bristol City team, really based on their performances in this, their home stadium. And Ashton Gate as a stadium would be a great addition to the Premier League. It's atmospheric, very, very modern stadium these days. And the backing which this team is going to get could be important tonight. And given that Bristol City's away form is not great, Lee, they probably have to take a lead from tonight, don't they?
I think so, yeah. I mean, going to Bramall Lane is a big ask, and I think, you know, they've made Ashton Gate a fortress this season. They really have. I mean, you know, you don't have to look at the form that they've had. Away form has been absolutely horrid to look at. I think 1 win in their last 15, which you do feel that this is the game that they have to take most advantage of and take a lead to Bramall Lane to give themselves every chance in that second leg.
Well, this really is something to savour. And what a thrill it must be if you are a Bristol City player and you're about to walk out of that tunnel into this environment, this backing. 26,000 or so people have their backs tonight. Sheffield United fans, of course, will have travelled in as many numbers as they can, but it's going to be a throbbing atmosphere for what promises to be a really interesting game. The first leg of the other semi-final, of course, is tomorrow. Coventry City and Sunderland are the other two sides battling it out for the place at Wembley. But this is all about Bristol City, nearest your camera, in red and white, and Sheffield United all in white on the far side, and here they come. And let's just savour the noise for a second. Really special. It was touch and go for Bristol City at times, even on the last day of the regular season, as to whether they could get themselves into these playoff positions. There was a time on that last day when Sheffield United were losing at home to Blackburn Rovers, and that might have knocked Bristol City out of it. But in the end, they did enough. So let's have a look at the starting lineups. Liam Manning, Bristol City boss, makes one change to 11, which came from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 with Preston on that nail-biting last day. Anis Mehmeti preferred to Scott Twine, who's on the bench tonight. They haven't lost a game here since early February. It's 11 wins in their last 15 at home. So that's Bristol City. This is Sheffield United. Chris Wilder watched their season drop away, really, at the end of the season, having been shoulder to shoulder with Leeds and Burnley for so long. So they finished the campaign rotating some, resting others, knowing that they would be in the playoffs. And there are 7 changes to the 11 which started the final match of the regular season against Blackburn. And those changes see the return of Michael Cooper in goal, Chowdhury, Robinson and Burrows in defence, Brewster in midfield, and Moore and Campbell up front. So, Lee Hendry, that rotation, that 2 or 3 weeks when Sheffield United knew that they couldn't go up, that this would be their fate, is that a good thing for them? Is that an advantage for them because you get a little rest, or do you lose momentum?
It's really tough, isn't it? I think when you compare Sunderland to Sheffield United, I think it actually goes in their favour. I know that they got so close, obviously, in touching distance of Leeds and Burnley, but, you know, having the fact that they had a couple of games to go into these playoffs to actually rekindle and think about things rather than wait 3-4 weeks, as Sunderland have had to wait, knowing that they're there. I do feel that they are the ones that are the favourites for me, and I think Chris will know that he's got his team, he's rested a few players, and he's tweaked a few things, and he'll be ready for this game.
Well, he has twice in his managerial career got Sheffield United promoted, once from League One into the Championship, once from the Championship into the Premier League. Bristol City, since securing promotion to the Championship by lifting the League One title 10 years ago, haven't really got close to a playoff appearance. This is arguably Bristol City's biggest game, maybe for 2 decades.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's huge. You just look at the fans here. It's absolutely amazing to see, and this is a great opportunity. We've seen what Luton did and achieved. Can Bristol City do the same thing?
Well, our referee, the man in blue and black, is Oliver Langford. Bristol City will be defending the goal away to the right-hand side. It's Sheffield United who will get this game underway in their change strip. They have only won 2 of their last 7 matches, Sheffield United. Oliver Langford's ready, and the Championship playoffs are underway, starting at Ashton Gate with these 2 head-to-head. And Hirakawa getting an early touch of the ball. Tanner in field. This is Dickey and this is Viner. And here's O'Leary. Last time I saw Bristol City play, Lee, they were absolutely hammered at Ellen Road by Leeds United on a night of celebration for the team that ended up being champions of this league eventually. That must have been a bit of a blow to their confidence, because they were absolutely taken apart by Leeds.
Oh, definitely. But, I mean, on the flip side of that, I think a lot of teams go to Ellen Road and could easily come off the back of a heavy defeat, and that's what happened that evening. I've seen them this season and I've been really impressed. I must admit, at the start of the season I watched them, I felt that they had lots of potential. I actually did say that I felt that they could, if they kept what they had, you know, the recruitment that they brought in, I felt that they could be there or thereabouts for the playoffs, and here we are. They're taking on one of the league's favourites that we thought were going to get promoted automatically.
Harmer taking on Hirakawa, well covered by Tanner. That's Harmer's first entry in proceedings. The Football League's Player of the Year announced a few days ago. Gustavo Harmer, and he's going to go and take this corner kick. Kiefer Moore is an obvious target. He is a terrific header of a ball. Referee Oliver Langford is telling Gustavo Harmer that that ball has to be touching the white line, and that little touch wasn't enough, and the Bristol City fans don't think that was either. But Harmer delivers. And O'Leary got a left fist to it. It's going to come back inside that Bristol City penalty area. It's Hamza Chowdhury looking for Harmer. And offside in the middle. Free kick to the home side.
Yeah, it's interesting, Sheffield United and Chris Wilder having a different approach. I know that we just touched on, you know, the disappointment of not having automatic promotion, but it has given him a little bit of time to reflect, have a look at certain things, you know, offer people the shirt that's in the squad, because they've got that strength in depth, and just even the tweak in the formation of playing that 4-4-2 with two up top, he really favoured it. I did them at Stoke away, and the two of them did cause problems. It was one where they could go a little bit more direct into Kiefer Moore, and Campbell could play off him.
Naki Wells almost taking advantage of a deflection as Hamza Chowdhury got himself in a little bit of bother, but Sheffield United have dealt with that, and Tyrese Campbell is charging forward here, and he's got Burrows making a little run ahead of him. Campbell's ball into the area is well dealt with. Dickey did well, but he's had to concede a corner. It's a lively, pacey start to this semi-final first leg.
Yeah, it is. Just look how quick that Sheffield United turned the ball over. I mean, this formation that Bristol City is setting up in that back three is that they will try and utilise them wide areas, because of McCrory will go and get forward, as we've seen the weekend, getting himself a couple of goals, and Hirakara will do the same. So that's where they try and access and try and get beyond Bristol City's back line.
Harmer with the corner again. There are three Sheffield United players around Michael Cooper, or two now around O'Leary, as it comes towards the back post. It's going to come back to Gustavo Harmer, and cleared away successfully by Bristol City's Jason Knight, the stalwart in midfield.
I'll tell you what, there's a real fizz about the game, isn't there? You know, the passing. Sheffield United have really set the tempo, moving the ball quickly, trying to get it into forward areas.
Flicked on. Not going to reach Naki Wells. And a lull first, really, in the 5th minute of the game. He's had a very good season, Michael Cooper, in the Sheffield United goal, this summer signing from Plymouth. Here he is again.
Yeah, it's an interesting little battle that I'm looking at. I always do look into that midfield area, being a midfielder myself, and Jason Knight's had a fantastic season for Bristol City. Joe Williams there compliments him. They will sit, and I'm pretty sure that battle with Nasoza and Sidi Peck, there'll be a lot of bite and some really tasty challenges in that midfield.
Speaking of which, McCrory's just a little dazed here for the home side. Might be a little bit of blood that'll need dealing with. The nose is bleeding a bit. Well, there he is, Kiefer Moore. Such an experienced centre forward. This is what he does well.
Yeah, I think McCrory might have done it to himself, actually, as he's gone to make that challenge. Just the physicality of Kiefer Moore. He's just stood his ground, and looks like he's just come down on the top of his head.
He's such a good target, is Moore, the Welsh international. There's Liam Manning. Done a good job, Lee.
Oh, such a good job, honestly. I mean, I'm taking my hat off to him. I know he's had a tough time at the start of the season, and, you know, you do feel that he's just loved every single fact of being a part of this Bristol City setup and what they've got and what they've recruited. You know, and he's getting the best out of this squad, there's no doubt of it. I just love the fact that how he likes to play, his philosophy, his style. That's why I really think I have to take my hat off to what a great job he's done so far.
I don't know what that was they were doing to McCrory, but it hurt. I could feel that myself.
Yeah, I felt the same, to be honest.
He was wincing. Ouch. On you go, son, though. Get on with it. Well, the prize is so big for both these sides. McCrory's going to have a boxer look about him for a little while, with some of that stuff up his nostril to make sure that the blood doesn't flow. Seconds out, we're back underway. Rob Dickey. And they've kept possession until he was back on the pitch. Williams. Hirakawa's making the run down the right touchline, and here he is. Naki Wells is in the middle. Mehmeti's lurking on the edge of the penalty area, McCrory too. Good clearance by Ahmed Hodzic. Here is McCrory. Making the run and getting it behind Rhian Brewster. McCrory. Robinson's volleyed clearance did the job.
Well, I've seen Rhian Brewster, he played that right wing role against Stoke City, and you automatically think he's just going to be a bit of a luxury on that right-hand side. He won't be, because Chris Wilder will make him get back and defend. Look to Hamza Chowdhury, who's playing in a right-back role rather than his usual midfield. I think that's a place that they've found hard to really find the identity of playing someone who can be comfortable playing from there.
Kiefer Moore's just got a little crack around the top lip. He's okay. And the Sheffield United throw in. Looking possibly for Kiefer Moore. Up go the heads. Moore did get something on it. It's in. Tyrese Campbell has nodded Sheffield United in front. The Blades, well, thought they'd struck first. It's been ruled out for offside.
I actually felt it looked very, very tight. I mean, the ball that was thrown in, it was launched in. Jake Robinson, and then the flick on from Kiefer Moore. That's what they do so well. They use him to his strengths. I'll tell you what, it's a brave finish. Tyrese Campbell, he just gets there in front, but this will just explain it, won't it? That little flick on there, I'm not too sure whether it's Sidney Peck that actually interferes or might get a touch, because Tyrese Campbell's not in an offside position, so
no, he's not.
It definitely is the Sidney Peck, whether he's gone to make that actual movement.
Wow. I mean, if he'd left it, the ball goes in and it's a goal.
Well, that's it, whether that's down to him interfering with play, whether he feels that the defender's being stopped, and that's why he actually does interfere with play, and that's why it's ruled out.
Well, if he hadn't got involved, it would have stood, wouldn't it?
He definitely would have.
Wow. Well, that's a let-off for Bristol City.
I think the only argument there is that if Sidney Peck's not there, then so McCrory does possibly come and volley that away, doesn't he? So that's probably why it's been ruled out.
Well, they're relieved it's still 0-0. No doubt about that, Bristol City, because for a few seconds there, Tyrese Campbell thought he'd put Sheffield United in front. Hamza Chowdhury with the header. Rhian Brewster might have just got a little faint touch on that. Here's Kiefer Moore. This can be a Sheffield United throw-in. Well, Chris Wilder, was having it explained to him by Stephen Martin, fourth official, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely wasn't. With Langford, he sort of had discussions as well, didn't he, in his ear. So for me, you're looking at that, and it does look like it's the right call for sure. It definitely wasn't Tyrese Campbell that was offside. It was the interference of Sidney Peck that was obviously getting in front and just stopping McCrory from maybe coming and having a clear volley away from his goal. I mean, for such a good start from Sheffield United, by the way, we're just approached the 30-minute mark, and they have been the better side. They have looked the more influential, and they have looked the more dangerous.
The decision was given, by the way, by Mark Stevens, the assistant down on this near side. Here it is again.
Well, there it is, because he's heading it towards goal. In that's where you might feel that, listen, it's a big ask, but there's a possibility Curry could possibly get there, couldn't he, if Sidney Peck's not there? So that's why he's interfering with play.
Yeah. And McCrory was appealing for it immediately.
Yeah, well, Sidney Peck's either got to tap that in, or he's got to try and stop whoever's trying to get in to that area. It's the only way I can see it in my eyes.
Well, we're approaching 15 minutes. It's goalless at Ashton Gate, but only just. Robinson, vastly experienced. Given away and poked forward by McCrory to Anis Mehmeti. Mehmeti doubling up on him here. There's a shooting chance. Oh, it smashes the bar. Nearly broke the bar from Williams. What a hit. What a hit.
It's an unbelievable strike. It's brilliant. Mehmeti just sitting people down. I think Brewster slipped. And I tell you what, this is an absolute bullet of a strike. It really is. It's teed up, bouncing all over the place. But Joe Williams gets the right technique, the right control. And I tell you, that would have been an absolute belter for Bristol City.
He has a grand total of 3 career goals. My goodness me. He lashed that fantastically.
Well, it wasn't easy neither, was it? I mean, you have to say that Mehmeti didn't tee him up as nicely as what you would have felt, but maybe that bounce just got the clear-cut volley straight off the top of the bar. Some strike.
Well, already loads of incident in this one. Tanner. Knight, who has, as you may well know, played every minute of every game in the Championship this season. McCrory back to Knight. Just a little touch from Gustavo Harmer, just took it away from Mehmeti.
He hasn't really been in the game, has he, Gustavo Harmer? But big call this was from all the officials. I mean, even the hand there, the goalkeeper does get a slight fist to that, doesn't he, Max O'Leary? But straight away, there's a call, there's an arm up, appealing.
Yeah, Knight's appealing immediately, and you can see that you would, because he's feeling he's going to clear it. Here's Tyrese Campbell, who thought he'd scored, putting it into a very good area, actually, but Tanner was there. Hasn't quite got it away from goal, though. That's not a bad hit, but it's smashed from Gustavo Harmer's right boot onto the head of Kiefer Moore. Offside anyway.
Some strikers, well, just as I said, he hasn't really been or affected the game yet. Gustavo Harmer, that is a painful one. Kiefer Moore, absolute off the side of the head, knocked him dizzy.
Well, he will testify that when Gustavo Harmer hits it, it stays hit. He's okay. Chip ball by O'Leary, McCrory's header. Vinny Souza's ball deflecting away. Here's Hamza Chowdhury. That's okay, it's found Naki Wells. Little touch off from Max Bird. Driven by Wells, hitting Harmer and lashed away by Jack Robinson. Good header by Tyrese Campbell, but didn't quite find more.
They've slowly grown into the game, haven't they, Bristol City? I feel that maybe that goal that was disallowed might have just given that little bit of a wake-up call, what they can do and what they're up against. They've been much better, getting more of a grip of it in midfield and trying to work them wide areas.
It's McCrory, Brewster with a challenge which hasn't stopped Ross McCrory. Is that a free kick? Mehmeti thinks so. But in the opinion of Oliver Langford, Mehmeti is mistaken.
Yeah, I actually felt it was a free kick because he found control of that, and Hozic looked like he just completely swiped him out. I mean, this will just be a talking point, won't it? Whether was it, should it have been? I mean it's there. You can see Jason Knight.
He's actually pulling his shirt,
wasn't he? And there's a pull back there.
He's actually pulling his shirt, isn't he? I mean, you could argue that he's being impeded by Sidipe. You could argue that he's fouling Sidipe by pulling his shirt, but you know.
You totally could. I mean, there's a big argument and there's a big question mark over a few things there, but listen, I think making that movement forward, which Sidipe did do, I think that brings him into automatic play, doesn't it? As if he could be possibly taking a touch, or he is interfering.
Well, 20 minutes and they've not disappointed, that's for sure. These playoffs have a long history of drama. As he knows very well. Foul on Knight. Souza. Wouldn't mind having a look at Joe Williams' previous 3 career goals, just to see if that had gone in, whether it would have been the best of them. I'd be surprised if it wouldn't have been.
I'm sure I've seen him score a worldie before, to be quite honest. So.
Well, that certainly would have gone into that category. Here's Hamza Chowdhury. Burrows' clearance kept in play by Tyrese Campbell. Back to Burrows. Moore used his body well, but it's tidied up by Joe Williams, who finds Tanner. Knight. Hirakawa for Wells. Nice little ball back into you, Hirakawa. 4 in the middle here for Bristol City. Lots of Sheffield United players back, and it's put behind by Burrows for a corner kick, and this will be the first for Bristol City tonight.
It's so good though, isn't it? I mean, the passing movement. Hirakawa wants the return pass off Naki Wells, which he gets. And that's the thing that they have to utilise to their strength, playing in this back 3, back 5 with wing backs. Hirakawa, McCrory, we've seen them get forward as much as possible. You want to be pegging back Sheffield United and asking questions in behind in them spaces.
Corner kick then to the home side. Bird pulling it back to Mehmeti. He likes to hit them. It's taken a couple of deflections. It'll be another corner.
It's clearly one off the training ground where they're trying to get this Mehmeti on the ball. He isn't shy of taking any strikes on from distance.
Corner kick number 2. McCrory coming to try and meet it. Kiefer Moore got a head on it. Back into the area it goes from Tanner. Naki Wells, Viner, sorry, couldn't keep it in play. We've just gone past the halfway mark of the first half, and it has not disappointed.
Oh, I've been really impressed. I felt it would be a really close encounter. I mean, both sides want to play football. I said there's a little bit of a different tweak with Chris Wilder's done by playing the two up top with Keith Moore. They are looking predominantly to try and be a little bit more direct when they can play higher up the pitch. I think they'd still want to see a little bit more of Brewster and Harmer getting on the ball where they can instigate things.
Here's Tanner. Bird looking for Hirakawa. It's gone out of play for a Sheffield United throw-in. Taken by Burrows and returned to him by Peck. Chowdhury. Burrows. Kiefer Moore deciding not to keep that ball in play, but to settle for the throw.
Yeah, we're just looking at that goal that has been disallowed. It was definitely down to, obviously, City Peck being there and obviously causing a problem. They felt that that could have been cleared by Jason Knight, so that's why it was ruled out. It's certainly been documented that that is the right call for it.
Yeah. I thought initially that Peck might have got a touch on it, but he didn't.
Yeah, it's definitely that it could have been cleared away from the goal line, and that's why it was ruled out.
Well, it's a moment that will be debated long and hard, that's for sure. Not least, I would have thought, by Chris Wilder. Here's Ryan Brewster. Well, he was thinking about having a shot. He just took a little bit too long thinking about it, and Anis Mehmeti got a foot in. That's not a great ball from McCrory, though. Immediately apologises. Harmer away to Brewster. Brought down nicely. Blocked by McCrory. Good foot in by Hamza Chowdhury into Mehmeti, but McCrory is there. Well played. It's a free kick to Bristol City for the foul on Naki Wells.
I'll tell you what, talk about being brave in these games. Just watch how Bristol City work that ball out from the back. They're not in a big rush, are they, to lump that ball forward. They want to play through the lines. They want to get it into they want to get it into Max Mehmeti, can cause problems.
It's going to be a goal kick to Sheffield United. Interesting that neither of these clubs have ever experienced a successful playoff campaign. Their supporters, maybe not the players so much because they tend to come and go, but the supporters will have some poor memories of playoffs.
Yeah, and it sometimes sticks with you, doesn't it, that you feel there's some sort of voodoo on you that you can't break, but I think everything's there to be broken, and I think that's what Chris will be thinking, and certainly Liam Manning will be.
O'Leary. Knight, Mehmeti, Williams, a little bit too much on that. Chowdhury should tidy this up. And he's run into a bit of bother, but he's got to throw it.
Tell you what, two massive goals he scored the weekend. Ross McCrory playing from that left wing-back role, venturing into areas where he probably has never been before.
2-0 down at home to Preston at half-time. and fearing that their playoff campaign may never happen, with Blackburn Rovers winning at Sheffield United. As it turned out, both games finished in a draw. Not sure what the Blackburn Rovers players will be doing tonight, but they probably won't want to be watching this, because they came close but just missed out.
Yeah, certainly not, and they should have. You feel when John Eustace left the football club, they should have most definitely been in them playoffs. They just went on a real bad run.
Oh, Brewster's ball now. It's Tyrese Campbell. Campbell, big save. O'Leary used his foot to keep away the rebound from Tyrese Campbell. Here's Harmer and Peck. Lovely turn by Peck. That's deflecting up and tipped over by O'Leary.
I'll tell you what, massive, absolutely huge save. Brilliant play from Sheffield United. Have a look at this for a pass. Brewster, brilliant movement as well from Tyrese Campbell. Reverse. He's got to score for me. Whether he's just slowed himself down, delayed. But for me, he's got to tuck it far in that corner, and then another very, very good save, because this isn't easy. It's a big, big deflection, ricochet towards that top corner. That's where I think he just slowed it down. I think maybe that near post, maybe he was caught in two minds. I'll tell you what, City Peck does well here as well, and then that huge deflection that caused Max O'Leary a big problem.
Well, at the very least, it would have dropped onto the bar, and he wasn't going to take any chances with it. In comes the corner kick, headed back into a dangerous area. Ryan Brewster. This is dangerous. It's Harmer, and it's blocked by Dickey. Well, Bristol City once or twice have had a little bit of luck on their side.
They have. I mean, this is well worked. It's patient, the approach. Burrows hands it up, and you heard that big scream from Harmer at the back post. It's my ball. He doesn't quite get the contact and the guide towards goal. And it was dangerous.
But it's a fabulous run by Campbell, wasn't it? Brilliantly found by Brewster.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to get playing in this 4-4-2. You need movement in the forward line, and Chris Wilder alluded to that they have got the luxury of playing into the big man of Kiefer Moore. They have got the luxury of spinning them balls into the channel where Tyrese Campbell will be a willing runner. Nearly got his rewards for it too.
Sousa's fired again, but it came straight back to the home side, and here is McCrory. Metti. Knight for Williams. But short that, and Williams be pleased to see that Kiefer Moore didn't advance far before it was taken from him. His Knight again. Rob Dickey, who was sent off here very late on in the league encounter between these two, which Sheffield United won 2-1. He's done well to keep that in, Naki Wells. Max Bird back to Wells. Bird with an opportunity to cross here. Hirakawa will go and collect that from Burrows' header. Williams. Rob Dickey for Bristol City, who've had nearly 66% possession home side.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, you have to look at the game, don't you? And it's 0-0, but it has been an exciting end-to-end. I mean, Sheffield United, I feel, have looked the more dangerous and the ones that are possibly going to go and get the first goal. To play that for Kiefer Moore, but I think the big man's just got his strides wrong, as he's never going to get the full purchase, and he does just get that little bit of a strike on it, but it's an easy one for Max O'Leary. Another less off for Bristol City. They have to be aware of them quick turnovers and the quick firepower that Sheffield United have in them forward areas.
And they have now, Sheffield United had 3 attempts on target in this game. Bristol City haven't had any yet. We got a little break in play for the physio here. But Sheffield United might just now, Lee Hendry, be starting to think, well, we should probably be in front by now.
100%, yes, definitely they have. They've looked the more dangerous, and you can have a lot of possession of the ball, and Bristol City will have that. They do like to certainly work the ball from back through the lines into the forward areas. And Aki Wells is very isolated at times because I think Bristol City are cautious of what Sheffield United have to and can throw at them. So Mehmeti and Bird are having to drop in a little bit deeper, and that's why Wells is very isolated and chasing down lost causes, as we've seen not long ago there.
Williams is okay, which Bristol City will be very pleased about. They were just getting George Earthy ready, and you just saw there Joe Williams just go, no, I'm okay.
He won't want to come off, will he? Joe Williams.
Heading toward the last 10 minutes of normal time in this engrossing first half of the first leg of the first semi-final. Max O'Leary with the clearance for the home side. Mehmeti trying to win it. Williams ready to come back on. Finder to Dickey. Oh, that was a little bit risky, but it's found its mark. Tanner to O'Leary.
Yeah, very confident in playing out from the back. Finder really forcing that ball to get out to his partner in crime back there. Teasing ball.
George Tanner. Williams is back on, by the way. And Mehmeti. That'll be a throw-in off Chowdhury. Williams. Bird for Bristol City. It's gone straight out of play for a Sheffield United throw-in.
I've been impressed with the work ethic from Sheffield United. I feel that when they're at possession of the ball, they're having to get back, and it's probably been one thing that I've looked towards this back end of the season where they hasn't quite been there, the intensity. And that's what Chris Wilder have wanted to see from his side, that hunger and desire this evening.
Back at what really is his club. He played for them. He's now managed them twice. Yuhiro, that's a good challenge by Souza to win the ball back for Sheffield United. Rhian Brewster looking for Campbell. It's a nicely weighted ball again by Brewster for Campbell. Put out by Zach Finer. Free kick. Williams down again here. Second time in quick succession he's gone down. This one, well, he looks very frustrated. And they are going to have to make that substitution now. George Earthy will be coming on for Bristol City here.
It's obviously been a reoccurrence, hasn't it? That's why punching the ground is disappointed.
Well, I wonder if they're going back to that early decision to rule the goal out and just seeking clarification. Jack Robinson starting that conversation as Joe Williams, who smashed an absolute beauty against the Sheffield United crossbar, is almost overcome by annoyance at having to leave the field of play, but he's not going to leave without whipping up the crowd first. Williams off and Earthy on. And if that's a muscle injury, you might be thinking, not only do I miss the rest of this game, might miss the second leg of this game, I might miss Wembley.
Yeah, for sure, and that's the disappointment, isn't it? I'll tell you what, this boy's not a bad player. I'll tell you that now. You'll probably see Max Bird drop into more of a holding role, and George Earthy will go and play a little bit further up the pitch, which he's a live wire, by the way.
On loan from West Ham, 20 years of age. It's George Earthy chasing that. That's exactly what Lee Hendry just told you would happen has happened. He's playing just off Naki Wells now. Knight having to battle to win that, and he did win it and won it well. McCrory. His burden is now deeper roll. Last 5 minutes of the first half. Irakawa. Bird. McCrory. That's a shame. Couldn't quite control it. Wasn't easy. Might have seen it late.
Yeah, I think he might have just been put off by Metti just getting in his way, maybe. Deep cross from Ross McCrory. He's put a shift in down this left-hand side, I'll tell you that now. That's where I feel that the danger is for Bristol City when they do get forward. We've seen how quickly Sheffield United want to try and pick out Ryan Brewster. He's obviously got that pace. He's probably playing a little bit further up the pitch, so that is a big outlet when McCrory, because he does like to get forward too.
Jack Robinson will take this throw in for Sheffield United. Pegg, Souza, Moore, of course, all in there. That's a good throw. Flicked on by Kiefer Moore, and he's there.
Well, it's really old school, isn't it? The way that, you know, they're just setting up as it's almost like a cross in the box, that long throw in that Robinson has, and it's a problem. It's causing problems because of Kiefer Moore's height and his physical attributes.
Well, if you've got that club in your bag, you might as well use it.
Too right. Tony Pulis was the king of that, wasn't it?
Enjoying themselves. Enjoying the tension. There is a tension around these playoff affairs, which kind of borders in that hinterland between pleasure and pain. Sometimes is Bird forward. Good challenge on Mehmeti. There's a little bit of room here. McCrory's cross is careful. Headed away by Ahmed Hodzic. McCrory. Peck almost dispossessed. Brewster's there. Foul on Vinicius Souza. That'll be a free kick.
Yeah, I think he got away with that one. Big touch away, but maybe slight bit of contact in front of Oliver Langford. Very slight, wasn't it? But made an absolute meal of that.
Last minute of normal time in this half. Bristol's gone. Ahmed Hodzic fouled by Wells.
Well, Mikey Wells is claiming that there isn't a lot there. I might agree with him here. I think there was that slight little push in the back, wasn't it? That just was the obvious thing as he got away from him.
Just a little hand between the shoulder blades. A minimum of 5 added minutes. Physios were on 2 or 3 times. Had the ruled out goal. Well, there was no gap, really, for Mehmeti to try and wriggle through. He was looking for a free kick and didn't get it. Here's Chowdhury. Peck, Brewster, Moore, Peck, nice. Harmer couldn't keep hold of it. It's a good header on, and Kiefer Moore is there, and Dickey made the challenge, and the referee says penalty, and it's a red card. Rob Dickey is sent off on this ground against Sheffield United for the 2nd time this season.
Well, I actually felt that straight away Rob Dickey was the wrong side. Kiefer Moore. It's the flick on Torres Campbell. He gets in front of him here. You can't put your hands around someone from behind, and that's where the penalty comes from. Yes, he might get the contact, but he's pulled him to the ground, and he's right in front of his goal, and it is a red card. Everything about it that Oliver Langford has done is correct. And that is an uphill battle now for Bristol City, right on the touch of this half-time whistle.
You may say, well, there's a double jeopardy in there with the penalty and the red card, but there's no attempt to play the ball at all, that's the key.
And that's it. Once you're through on goal as a centre-forward, a defender cannot grapple you.
Big moment this, and into the net from Harrison Burrows. Sheffield United lead in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1. 10-man Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 1.
I'll tell you how good is this penalty, because it's a big pressure moment. There's pressure all over Sheffield United, but that is absolute top elegance, class, everything about it. Harrison Burrows when he steps up to any dead ball situation, he's brilliant. And this is the red card and the penalty. It's there for everyone to see. Rob Dickie cannot argue. Your arms are all over him straight away. Yes, you might get the contact at the end, but he's already on the ground and you're right in front of goal, so it is a blatant red card. It's a great bit of work from Sheffield United. The flick on from Campbell and the movement from Kiefer Moore. Both strikers combining really well, and they get their rewards. I hate to see red cards, I really do. It spoils games, but that is one. For me, that is everything is correct.
And they're in big, big trouble now, Liam Manning's side. Big trouble.
Well, you lose Joe Williams as well, who's a big player in that team defensively. Now you lose another big player in Rob Dickie.
Maybe another minute or so still to play. Maybe a minute and a half with the red card, the award of the penalty. But Bristol City are a man down and a goal down.
And they're going to have to regroup, aren't they, at half-time, get in with this 1-0 down at the moment. If they can do that and just reset, have a look at where they're at, because they don't have to go and win the game this evening, do they? That's the big thing. So whether it's we sit tight, we try and stay in the game, I think that's going to be a big call for Liam Manning.
Yeah, he might be saying at half-time, listen, this is a long game now. We've got to make sure that we're not out of it after this first leg. What does surprise me, though, Lee, Kiefer Moore has many attributes, but blistering pace is not one of them. No. He did seem to just stroll through the middle too.
He did, and I actually feel that they were more concerned about, and that's the problem, when a ball goes in direct into an area, you're concerned about what the strikers are doing, and particularly when you're playing a back three, you have to be on your guard, you have to be on your mark, someone has to be following the one runner that's going in behind. This time that we haven't seen, it's always been that Kiefer Moore's been doing the flick-ons and Campbell's been obviously going and getting on the end of them, but on this occasion, that's flick reversed, and as I said, you don't always have to have pace, it's just having that cleverness of making them runs in behind that you're going to get onto the receiving pass.
McCrory, Bird. And the referee, Oliver Langford, blows his whistle to a chorus of disapproval. An early Sheffield United goal for Tyrese Campbell, ruled out by the referee's assistant's flag for offside. But the red card for Rob Dickie, the resulting penalty for his foul on Kiefer Moore, converted by Harrison Burrows, means that at half-time in the first leg of this semi-final, it's Bristol City 0, it's Sheffield United 1.
This is a message for parents of Ben Weeks. Please make your way to A9. Parents of Ben Weeks to A9, please. Please welcome back on the side for the second half, Bristol City.
Welcome back to Ashton Gate, where Bristol City have been unbeaten since early February, but they trail by a goal to nil at half-time in the first leg of this semi-final. That Harrison Burrows penalty kick. And Bristol City have made a couple of changes. Hirakawa and Naki Wells have both gone off here. Yu Hirakawa and Naki Wells replaced. Hayden Roberts is one of those who has come on. And there's Sinclair Armstrong, who is the other. So the referee, Oliver Langford, is ready, and off we go for the second period with those two changes. Hirakawa and Wells replaced by Armstrong and Roberts. What do you make of those, Lee Hendry?
Yeah, I thought he would make changes for sure. And I think maybe just freshen things up through that forward line. Naki Wells didn't have an awful lot of service and an awful lot of supply. I think with Sinclair Armstrong, you know that he's going to work damn hard up in that top line. Might just cause a problem, and maybe on the turnovers of spinning that ball, where they can get a little bit higher up the pitch, Bristol City, particularly going down to 10. And I think it's a good call.
Finally back to O'Leary. O'Leary's long ball downfield towards Sinclair Armstrong, bounced through him and through Jack Robinson, but is steered back to goalkeeper Michael Cooper by Ahmed Hodzic. Well, they're between a rock and a hard place, really, Bristol City. The first priority, you would imagine, would be to make sure that the scoreline, the deficit, doesn't get any worse, and then take your chances at Bramall Lane in the second leg when it's 11 against 11. But that's a big ask at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United.
Yeah, it really is. I think, you know, you have to look at what stares you in the face at the moment, and you know, they're down to 10, they're losing 1-0. I think to finish this game at 1-0, you do feel that, you know, Manning would be over the moon. I do feel that Chris Wilder's got to look at it from that flip side and think we could put this tie pretty much to bed, taking it to Bramall Lane, home turf. You know, they've been tough to beat at Bramall Lane. So I think they've got it all to do. It's one of them that, you know, they can't go gung-ho, can they, Bristol City? They have to be compact and hard to beat.
That's a good little bit of feet by Peck. This might be kept in play. It is, and it's swung back. And Kiefer Moore with the little header. Rhian Brewster did terrifically well to keep that in play. Sinclair Armstrong claiming a foul, but he hasn't got it. Here's Harmer for Sheffield United. Bristol City's back five now. Is really George Earthy at right back, Ross McCrory still at left wing back, Earthy right wing back, and then you've got Tanner, Viner and Roberts.
Yeah, they are pretty much dropped into it. They're back five, aren't they? That's why they got to be compact, and That's why they've bought Sinclair Armstrong on, just that physicality that they can put a ball up and he will chase a lost cause and he will put his body on the line and maybe ask a few questions at Mahodzic and Robinson.
It's a Sheffield United throw-in though. Jack Robinson launches it in once more. It's a strong header away and Gustavo Harmer got right underneath that. He was leaning back a little bit as he hit it.
It just fell quite kindly to him, didn't it? Just a little touch there, and listen, you've got to get every single thing right there with the strike, but the season he's had, he's got every right to take that on.
Chris Wilder just lives and breathes Sheffield United, really.
He's been impressive this season, I must admit, because he's just changed the style of the club and you refresh things, you know, the formation changes. We've been used to seeing Sheffield United playing with wing-backs, playing almost wide players, you know, out of a back three, and he's, I think, recruited well. The players that they brought in, the likes of Tyrese Campbell, who've been excellent for them this season. You know, there's been some really good additions that, I must say, Callum O'Hare added to that, who can't get in this team.
Yeah, he's on the bench, yeah.
They've got a really good squad of players, squad depth.
Gustavo Harmer and Callum O'Hare, they've got a couple of players who were involved in Coventry's playoff campaign of a couple of years ago when they reached the final and lost it, though actually O'Hare missed the final. He was injured at the time. Gustavo Harmer played in it. Sheffield United were the losers in a three-horse race for promotion, in the end by a distance behind Leeds and Burnley, but that's really because they hit the buffers in April. They had that horrible run, didn't they? Back-to-back defeats to Oxford, Millwall and Plymouth in April. You remember the post-match team talk on the pitch from Chris Wilder, and it looked to be crumbling under their feet at that stage. But Wembley beckons at the moment.
It all did, didn't it? I mean, you have to put into context as well that that 2-point deduction at the start of the season, that they overcome very quickly. Really good start to the season, but the top teams have to stay in the thick of things, and there was a sign that we thought Leeds were going to crumble. We thought Burnley might, but they dug deep and they got over the line.
Here's Robinson. Goal scorer Burrows. Harmer. Peck. Sousa, Peck. Brewster. Vinicius Sousa's forward ball just behind Kiefer Moore into the area he just vacated, actually. It's been a great season for Bristol City, exceeding expectations, certainly exceeding recent achievements, but they're in a tough spot right now.
Yeah, they are. It's how they have to find a way, don't they, of trying to get something out of this game. Whether it's a set piece, whether they can come up with something that gives them an opportunity, and then obviously we've got the second leg to come, but they have to give themselves something, an opportunity to go up. They'll feel that they can still get something at Bramall Lane, there's no doubt of that.
Well, they did in the regular season. They got a draw in South Yorkshire. But misfortune has been their partner today with the injury to Williams. Here's Bird. Viner. So throw into Sheffield United. Tough job for Sinclair Armstrong up there now on his own, pretty much.
Yeah, I think it is. I think we'd seen that with Mackie Miles in the first half. He didn't get a lot of ball and service into him where midfielders could go and join in. Now it's going to be all about putting decent quality into areas that he can go and squeeze and put pressure onto the centre halves, the full-backs that can just come up with something, a set piece, a free kick that give Bristol City an opportunity to put good delivery into the box where they could be dangerous. So it's going to be a real tough second half for him. But I know he relishes off the fact of being a nuisance and being physical.
Chowdhury. Brewster. Bristol City had around about 70% possession in the first half. That will probably be more than levelled up, that possession statistic, the way things are going in this second half. Sheffield United happy to keep the ball, Bristol City trying to keep them at arm's length.
Yeah, well, you have to utilise it. You've got an extra body on the pitch, don't you? So finding that extra player, sometimes it's really difficult when you're coming up against 10. And that's where inexperienced players on the pitch will have good knowledge of that. We don't have to force the issue. We tire out this Bristol City side who work hard, there's no doubt of that. And as this second half goes on, it might be that a few gaps might appear.
Well, that was a little error by Mehmeti. No one for Sheffield United in the middle. It's one of those things that's often said that it's difficult to play against 10 men. Is it harder to break them down, Lee, in your experience as a player? Because the opposition with 10 men are focused really only on one thing, keeping you out.
Yeah, it's defending, exactly what it is, and that's why there's got to be movement, there's got to be patience, you've got to be good with the ball, because you can get complacent as well. You know, you're up against 10, you think that the game's won. It's not the case. As you just said, you hit the nail on the head, is that Bristol City will be concentrating on defending and then maybe a counter-attack, a set piece that might just get them something out of this game.
That's massively overhit.
That's where the patience has to be, though. You know, you're forcing balls that are not there. They didn't do that in the first half.
Yeah.
There's no need for that. You have to get your midfielders on the ball. You have to try and draw players out of that position. Yes, we know that Bristol City will sit in probably for a back five for long periods of this game. That's why maybe you have to play in front, or you have to get your midfielders a little bit higher up the pitch.
Well, O'Leary will take this goal kick. He's not in a hurry. Roberts for Viner. Viner to Earthy. It's a different game, isn't it? The tempo of the game is completely different from the first half. Here is Sinclair Armstrong. That's what he's there to do, and he's done it well. Held the ball up, allows other people the time to come and support. McCrory. A little bit deep. Robinson got a head on it. Earthy. Picked off by Burrows. Max Bird has fouled him, it'll be a free kick.
That's good though, wasn't it, from Sinclair Armstrong? He's got to get control of the ball, which he did brilliantly there, and that just gets them wide players up the pitch, just picking the times to go now, and that's how it's going to be. Then it's got to be about good service into the box. It wasn't the greatest cross from Ross McCrory. You haven't got to force putting that ball in, just allow bodies to get in there, overload and crowd the box where you might get an opportunity.
Sosa to Chowdhury. Ahmed Hodzic, Robinson and Harmer. That's a good ball into Peck. Peck hit it and hit it wide, but that's better.
And that's what I was talking about, just having an advanced player at the midfield being and getting in them little pockets. Peck did it brilliantly, and then the finish not so brilliant, but it's more like Sheffield United just finding them little passes, them cute little ones into little pockets of space. Opens everything up.
Almost at the hour mark. Well, before this game we were saying that we felt that Bristol City probably needed to win this first leg, such as the difficulty of playing at Bramall Lane. But right now with 10 men, if they can go there with a 1-goal deficit, they'll feel that it's perhaps victory would be stretching a point, but it's a result that they would live with.
I think they would, I really do. I think that will have been talked about between Manning and his coaching staff, and that's why they've had to go with that defensive approach for obvious reasons, up against a very good football side in Sheffield United and some very good quality forward players that can cause any team's problem.
Here's more, Brewster, Peck, just wide, lovely build-up. Maybe their best move of the game.
Oh, it's outstanding play. I mean, look at this, 1-touch, 2-touch. Look, Cruyff flick there for Peck, and I'll tell you what, that would have been the icing on the cake for such a fabulous move from Sheffield United. The movement, the passing ability, just didn't quite have the finishing touch from Sidney Peck, but so good to watch.
Chowdhury, strong header, more. I wonder if Chris Wilder is thinking about making any changes. He hasn't made any yet. And given that they're trying to unlock a red and white blanket here, I just wonder whether Callum O'Hare, that we mentioned a little while ago, may not be a very handy option to have in these circumstances.
Yeah, well, he knows that position and playing in a 10, doesn't he? And we've just seen Sidney Peck being more advanced, playing in that 10 role, as we can see Harmer there as well. But I mean, Andre Brooks, someone who's got a little bit of a direct, positive mind while he picks the ball up and maybe goes at his fullback.
Burrows trying to get through. Viner with the clearance.
As I said, I feel that Chris will be looking at this game and thinking, can we get a comfortable edge? Can we not take this game to Bramall Lane at 1-0, 2-0? That'd be a nice cushion, wouldn't it?
Jack Robinson for Sheffield United. Relegated out of the Premier League last season, of course. It was a really difficult season for them. A 14-game winless streak at the end of last season. Brewster.
I'm not sure whether that was a shot or a cross, but with the arm signal, I think it was meant to be around the back of the defence.
Well, They do play a bit of rugby union on this ground, and that would have been a pretty good drop goal attempt. O'Leary. It is a free kick. Pep was slightly late here. He had to compete for it, but he did just arrive a little bit after the event.
Yeah, he's got that tenacious attitude as well. I'll tell you something, don't be surprised if he will be having an early shower. I mean, by the fact that Chris Wilder might take him off here, I don't feel that he has to take any risks, any chances. Sidi Pek's one of them players. I love the fact that he has got that bite in his game, but the last thing they want now is to even things up.
Yeah, that would be insane, wouldn't it? Been handed this massive opportunity, Sheffield United. Bristol City have made 3 changes, of course, 2 at half-time, 1 with Williams injured in the first half. That's Chowdhury, McCrory with him. Goal kick. Well, the Robins have not finished a season this high up the second tier in a long, long time. They haven't actually beaten Sheffield United in a long, long time. 7 years since their last victory over the Blades. That was actually back at Bramall Lane. Andreas Weimann got a hat-trick for Bristol City in a 3-2 win. .5 minutes to go. Hum. That's a nice turn. He's pulled back by Bird. It'll be a free kick. Well, there definitely are going to be changes. Callum O'Hare is going to be one of them, Andre Brooks another, and it looks very much as though the former Everton midfielder Tom Davies is going to be coming on as well. Tyrese Campbell makes way, and Callum O'Hare comes on. Sidi Pek is indeed being withdrawn, having just received that yellow card. Andre Brooks is on, and Tom Davies is coming on as well, and Rhian Brewster makes way. So Brooks will go wide, Davies will sit in that midfield role, you would imagine, alongside Vinicius Souza, and Callum O'Hare will play in that number 10 position between the lines. Yeah,
most definitely. I just felt that he probably needed a bit of freshening up, particularly in the wide areas. That was a fact. Andre Brooks was one, and Callum O'Hare for sure. Tom Davies can get forward as well.
It's a free kick to Bristol City, a bit of pulling inside the penalty area. Launched forward by Viner, long and maybe too long, but put out of play by Jack Robinson. Sheffield United are now inside their own half of the field defending this throw-in. It's nicely done by Bird. Now, this is interesting. Finds Earthy. 4 in the middle here for Bristol City. George Earthy. Max Bird. Hemmed in a little bit. They passed their way out of that Sheffield United trap. Here's Earthy. Tanner.
I must say that's what's impressed me about Sheffield United this evening. Their work ethic out of possession of the ball. Really, just watching Kiefer Moore there is dropping back, even though they're down to 10 men. Bristol City has a real strong momentum and hunger about their play.
Trying to hold the ball up, unable to do so. Ahmed Hosic for Hamza Chowdhury. Burrows, who took and scored the penalty kick in first half stoppage time, which is at the moment the difference between these two sides, at least the difference on the scoreboard. Bristol City with 10 men after Rob Dickey sending off in the incident which led to the award of the penalty. Harmer.
Sheffield United are definitely in a sort of 4-1, aren't they? And that's because Sousa is just going to sit and be a protection. If anything that goes off or anything that goes into Sinclair Armstrong, he's there in front. That was Hodzic or Robinson looking at the back of him.
Davies here. O'Hare. Brooks, Davis, the 3 substitutes combining for Sheffield United. Tom Davies, there might be a shot on here. Good strength by Davies, tried to sneak it through to O'Hare.
Good play, really good. Tom Davies there. Really good on the ball there, just wanting to get it back and then trying to feed one of them attacking midfielders getting forward. Callum O'Hare trying to make that run.
Minutes to go. Going to get a 4th Bristol City substitution fairly imminently, with Marcus McGuane about to come on. Brooks heading towards his own goal. By far the closest Bristol City have come to scoring in this game was that Joe Williams effort. Smashed into the face of the crossbar in the first half. He's now off the pitch, having been injured. And with 10, they've really struggled to do anything more than be a disciplined fight.
Поддержал Кифер Мур. O'Hare пропускает мяч, отыгрывает Вайнера. Мур пропускает мяч, отыгрывает еще одного соперника Робертса, и в итоге Брукс заносит мяч в ворота. Ну, я так немного критиковал Уайлдера за то, что его команда действует стерильно, но побеждает тот, кто умеет ждать. И Шеффилд дождался и забил второй гол. Второй гол такой важный. Сейчас, я думаю, я предполагаю, что Бристоль не будет как-то рисковать. Магуан в итоге на поле вышел. Может быть, его именно в этой ситуации не хватило. Хотя, по идее, Магуан в таком эпизоде штрафной бы не оказался. Вместо Бёрда он вышел. Теперь Бристолю нужно постараться не пропустить третий.
About any wide player, make sure that you're coming in the back post, because it could always come out like it did there and then be there and be ready. There's 5 goals a season if you go and do what you do there, and that's what Andre Brooks did.
Max Bird has been withdrawn. Marcus McGrane is on for Bristol City, a substitution they had ready before. Andre Brooks made it 2-0. Here's Earthy. Oh, that's nearly fell to McCrory. That's good feet. And in the end, the shot is straight at Cooper. Mehmeti hit it fairly well, but too straight.
The complexion of the game's going to have to change, because Bristol City have to go and have a go, don't they, really? Let's be quite honest, and that's why. He's up on the final third. Mehmeti striking that ball well, just unfortunate straight at Cooper.
Could be further opportunities for Sheffield United in this closing 15 minutes as Bristol City go in hunt of some kind of platform for the second leg. It's a risk they really have to take now.
Yeah, I felt that second goal was always going to be important, whether it was for Sheffield United taking the tie to Bramall Lane, whether it be Bristol City getting that equaliser and making a much better tie of this second leg. But this could change completely with still 15 minutes plus to go.
Tom Davies for Hamza Chowdhury. Harrison Burrows. Sousa back into Robinson, and Sheffield United can enjoy themselves now. O'Hare letting it run to Burrows. More back into Burrows. Hamza Chowdhury advancing. Brooks, there's danger here. Nicely done. Hamza Chowdhury, 4 in the middle. Kiefer Moore with a header which is wide.
That's great, isn't it, now that they've got that confidence, they've got that edge, they've got that comfortable edge. All the tricks and all the good bits of movement, everyone wants a taste of it. Kiefer Moore just can't generate the power and guidance at once.
The Sheffield United fans will be pondering a Wembley trip. It's certainly going to be a very strong position they start the second leg from, unless Bristol City can do something dramatic in what remains.
Listen, these playoff games are never over, are they? And that's what Chris Wilder will be thinking. We've seen some really big twists and turns in one of the EFL playoffs over the season past. But I think this one, I always felt that Sheffield United would have and are the favourites of getting promoted through the playoffs. I would certainly say that with their squad. So it does make it an uphill task.
Tom Davies, his move to Sheffield United from Everton has not really worked out as he would have liked, but he could be heading back into the Premier League with the Blades. Who knows? They finished well ahead, really, of the other playoff contenders, certainly the favourites for promotion going into the playoff. Here's Harmer. There'll be a corner, I think. The Brazilian with a corner kick for Sheffield United, which is headed back across and it's in! Well, O'Hare might have got the final touch on that. It's 3-0. Vinicius Souza seemed to get something on it, and then it went in off O'Hare. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 3, and surely Chris Wilder's side are heading to Wembley.
Oh, wow. I mean, the subs have had an immediate impact, haven't they? I mean, the scenes are unbelievable. And Souza definitely had that touch towards goal. I'm sure it's Callum O'Hare had the final touch to make it 3. It's whipped in, pace, it's not dealt with. I mean, it comes off Davis, doesn't it, to Souza. He just guides it. There's no power on it at all, really. But it is that little cheeky flick. It's not even accidental.
No.
It's blatantly on purpose from Callum O'Hare. It's absolutely brilliant, in fact, because he's jumped and on his way down, he just backheels it into the net. What a finish that is. Even better watching it over, because initially I felt it could have just bounced off his heel, not knowing. Brilliant.
Well, I mean, his mind there has moved so quickly, because he's jumping to get out of the way of a shot from Vinicius Souza, and while he's mid-air, he realises that that shot's not going in, and he reacts to flick it past the keeper.
It's quite magnificent when you look at it. I mean, just to see it there, you could see his vision and awareness, what was around, where he was, and then just to put the final touch with that little bit of an elegance touch. Brilliant from Callum O'Hare.
Absolutely outstanding finish. Jack Robinson is being withdrawn here, and Sheffield United are in a wonderful position. Rob Holding coming on for what remains. Former Arsenal defender on loan at Sheffield United from Crystal Palace. Could say that both his clubs might be playing at Wembley in May. His parent club and his loan club.
The worrying sign now is that they just don't want to concede anymore, do they,
No.
Bristol City? They really don't, because, I mean, it'd be a big, I mean, it was a big ask anyway. 3-4, I think would just completely put it to bed, you'd feel.
Well, this last 10 minutes now is going to be a slow, horrible experience for Bristol City, their manager, their supporters and the football club, and it's going to eke out with the backdrop of South Yorkshire noise and celebration.
Yeah, I feel for Liam Manning as well, you know, all the hard work over the season. This is the problem with the playoffs, is the heartache, the heartbreak. And he worked so hard. We've seen the excitement the weekend where they found themselves in that playoff spot, the final one. And then they have to go again. Unfortunately, that red card has been a massive sucker punching, coming up against one of the top sides in the Championship. You need every single player on the pitch to give yourself a chance.
Tom Davies for Sheffield United, Vinicius Souza for Davies, O'Hare. Just that little bit of devilment, hasn't he, Callum O'Hare? He's well, he's come through the same route, of course, with the Villa, but I mean, you know, he doesn't look anything like Jack Grealish, but there are lots of similarities.
Yeah, I've seen Callum play it as a youngster at Villa, and he was a centre-forward, always scored goals, always getting himself in a really good position. Had that cheeky mentality about him, as he has got, but also had bags of skill and bags of quality, and that's what he's just produced there when being asked and called upon from his manager.
And Bristol City are bringing on Sam Bell and taking off Anis Mehmeti. Bell will play up front around Armstrong as they seek a goal which just might cast a little bit of doubt in the back of Sheffield United minds. But the noise that is coming from the away end, it doesn't feel like anything's going to spoil their night right now.
Chris Wilder will be, I think, the early stages of the second half. They weren't quite at it, were they, Sheffield United? And I think that's when he looked on the pitch and felt, you know, I need to freshen things up. I need to bring on maybe a little something that's going to cause Bristol City problems. The three subs he's brought on have been excellent. Davis, and Brooks. Mad enough that them two, the three have scored goals.
Yeah, one or two Bristol City fans have had enough. Gustavo Harmer is going to get a little rest for what remains of this game, which isn't very much. And Sam McCallum comes on just to make sure, just to shore things up a little bit at the back and make sure no late damage is done.
I just wonder whether I think he might drop in at left back and Wilson Burrows might be the more advanced one. That'd be a perfect fit, but as you said, I think they might play on the toes of each other just to have that little bit of firmness defensively.
They do not want to give Bristol City even a glimmer. 3-0, the second leg looks like a formality. I mean, as you say, Lee, odd things happen in playoffs, but we would be looking at one of the biggest turnarounds in the history of the playoffs if Bristol City can get to Wembley.
Yeah, we would, we really would. I mean, it's a massive ask, isn't it? I think I remember the Peterborough game where they absolutely cruised the first leg, and Sheffield Wednesday, was it, that bounced back in such an immense playoff. I mean, that's what you're talking about. That's where you're looking at.
Yeah, it's not it can't happen. It's just a once-in-a-generation kind of event. Sack finder for Bristol City. Well, I'm quite sure that Liam Manning will want to raise the subject of the red card for Rob Dickie in his post-match media interviews. It was a late one by Sinclair Armstrong. But all things considered, it felt like the right decision, that red card. It certainly has changed the game, of course.
Yeah, it has, and it's a defender's call, isn't it? And that's where, you know, we're not on the pitch at that moment in time, where we're sitting watching and actually saying, you know what, could you have thought about it a little bit differently? Could you have let Kiefer Moore just gone in 1v1, not had any contact? But defenders feel that they have to do something, they have to make their mark, they have to maybe disrupt a centre forward, and that's what I think he did. But then felt that he had every right to try and win the ball. But once you put your hands on players that are in front of you, you've got absolutely no way of getting away with it.
Yeah, spot on. McGrain here for Bristol City. Tanner. Well, Chris Wilder, Sheffield United lost form at just the wrong time in the regular season. They might just have refound their form at exactly the right time in the playoffs.
Well, it's only going to give them confidence going into the second leg, and I mean, listen, it takes something special to turn this round, but you know, you'd expect them now to venture into that final at Wembley. And I do feel that the way it happened for Sheffield United, yes, they got so close, but having them games where they could refilter, they could reignite what this football team's all about, you know, I just felt that that was their advantage of not actually getting promoted automatically, that they had them 2 games to really have a fiddle around with the squad and maybe ask his team who wants to take control, who wants the shirt for these playoff games. And it was down to the players' hands, and they've proved it, and they've showed it today. I've got to say, from start to finish, they've worked hard all over the pitch, and they've always been a threat all evening.
Yeah. When it was 11 against 11, they looked the more likely side to score. And they've certainly looked it since it was 10 against 11. Brooks' goal might have been the key one. His forward ball is deflected into the path of O'Hare. McCallum's ball in, O'Hare's shot is deflected behind. And Sheffield United have a corner kick in front of their ecstatic supporters.
It always smells danger, doesn't it, when Sheffield United have had a corner just because of the big man in there. They use his strengths really, really well. Not that it had anything to do with the last one.
3 minutes to add on then. Brooks is going to have a go, is he? Thought about it. Davis. Oh, well, that was a very high boot by Ahmed Hodzic. Didn't make contact, but it's dangerous play, free kick.
I'm not sure the technique was right for the overhead kick, to be quite honest, but good to see that no one got hurt from that.
Well, halfway through this two-legged tie, but it feels like Sheffield United are more than halfway to Wembley. This is a big, big advantage.
It's massive as well. I think you look at the experienced players that they have in that squad as well. You know, even likes of Tom Davis, who's playing in the Premier League. There's lots of these players that have had and been around big moments. Kiefer Moore, so much experience back there.
O'Leary forward. Sosa's header. Kiefer Moore. Well, he's fallen awkwardly, but he went over the top of Tanner.
It was an awkward one. Not sure he was ever going to win the header, if I'm being quite honest, because George Tanner's always in front of him, but Moore's always up for a fight. He believes he can win everything when the ball's in an aerial challenge.
The free kick is given against him. Kiefer Moore's gone down here. That's not a bad ball. It's Bell pulling Burrows with the penalty kick in first half stoppage time after Rob Dickey was sent off for fouling Kiefer Moore. Andre Brooks got the second, Callum O'Hare got the third. Sheffield United's substitutions were spot on, Lee Hendry, and their supporters can probably start booking their trains to northwest London.
Yeah, you'd feel that way. I mean, nothing's a given, is it, in this game? And it is the championship that we're talking about. There is a lot at stake still. And obviously, some frustrated players and bodies out there, aren't there, that feel that there should have been better. But Sheffield United really went about that professionally, and that's how it should finish. I know that there's a little coming together at the end there, but Chris Waddle will get his team together. He'll be thinking about the second leg. It's not over. And I tell you what, he won't be looking as far forward as Wembley. I can tell you that now, because they'll feel that we have to do this right, you have to be professional, and that's what they've been this evening. Really, really good, and thoroughly deserved everything.
And Chris Wilder is making sure that his team go to thank their travelling supporters, who have been loud and proud and jubilant tonight. Sheffield United have taken a giant stride toward the playoff final in the city of Bristol tonight. The first leg of the first championship playoff semi-final at Ashton Gate has finished Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 3.